What is going on, everybody? My name is Ciara Lawler. Welcome back to another week of Movie Mondays. This is the Heroes for Hire podcast. We are back again talking all the week's movie news, entertainment news, and generally just having a bit of a chit-chat about everything to do with film. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Shaun Mead. Shaun, how's it going?
Good, Connor. Doing marvellous, actually. Now that you ask. Marvel at my jokes, people.
It only took 14 seconds.
Yeah, I was thinking of that the whole time.
You were like panicking. Oh no, how do I fit a pun of Marvel?
I think there's a lot of pressure on me to come up with a little bit every episode.
You could just say I'm grand.
Yeah, but when I do that, it's like I'm giving you nothing, you know?
But I think, yeah, but that's even funnier to me. But maybe people wouldn't find it entertaining, but I'm a sicko.
We can't just do this to entertain ourselves, Connor.
What have you been doing the last few years?
Oh, I've just been, I've been hustling. I've been searching for clout, is what I've been doing.
That's what you've been doing.
Rising and grinding the whole time.
It's got that rise and grind mindset. You know what we got?
Sigma males.
If this is your first episode, this is not what we are actually like.
No, we're generally nice little soy boys.
No, but the soyest of boys. Normally, what this week's episode is going to be, it's a bit different. Normally, the show is designed for just movie news, as I explained, but every so often, it seems to be more on the regular these days. Marvel release a Disney Plus series
every couple of months. Yeah, like it's becoming quite frequent that we do these episodes, I will say. Quite
frequent. And so what we normally do is we'll do a bit of a review of the first two episodes here for free on Movie Mondays. Mm-hmm. And then if you want to get access to episodes 3, 4, 5 and 6, all the reviews, we normally do them over for the patrons. So everyone gets a bit of a sneak peek this week, and then moving on, we'll bring over the reviews over there.
Yeah, we usually throw out like wild theories, insane ideas of what could happen, and it's a nice little kind of after show chat that we can do that we don't really have time for week on week on Movie Mondays.
But like the thing about that is you don't want to do one episode a week. This is why we normally butch two, because if it just gets to one, it's like 1 40-minute episode. How long can you chat about that?
Exactly. If it's 40 minutes, God, there's probably a lot of filler in there, I'll be honest, just as episodes go.
So this week, as I said, a very special episode. We will be reviewing. We have seen, I'm assuming you've seen episode 1 and 2 of Miss Marvel.
Oh, I have, Connor. I've watched them literal minutes ago.
I mean, I hope not.
No, I watch it week on week. It's like Miss Marvel and Kenobi come out on like the same day. So
both on Wednesdays, different vibes.
Very different vibes, very different audiences for the most part.
We also will say we are going to be releasing our Kenobi review, which is all 6 episodes that we've pulled together.
Yeah, we're treating Kenobi like a bit of a movie, and we're just going to review the whole series start to finish. That'll also be coming out when Kenobi finishes.
You know all those rules we just set up? We've just broken them almost immediately.
Just threw them out the window like Mace Windu himself.
Forget everything you heard, idiots. It's different.
We're changing the formula.
But yeah, if this is your first episode, give us a like and review, whatever podcast platform that you're listening to this on. But Shaun, let's get into this. This is Miss Marvel. It came out. What I will say, I've heard a lot of things, Shaun. Low audiences, low viewership. All this is getting thrown at this show straight off the bat. I very much want to know, Shaun, what did you think of Miss Marvel?
I think this is the most creative Disney Plus show that they've made.
It's the best one.
It's the best one, isn't it? Like, it has an actual fucking soul to it. Like,
it's so weird. I was watching I think episode 1 in Miss Marvel is the strongest episode 1 in every single one of these shows.
Absolutely it is. Because every character as well feels like a real person in this.
They somehow got grown-ups to write teenage dialogue, but it seems normal.
Yeah, and it's not cringy as fuck the whole time.
It's not how do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, which, you know, it is easy to fall into that trap. Especially when you're trying to... Like, Miss Marvel is very much a character that lives in the Marvel universe, which is basically like analogous to our universe, but with superheroes. So there's memes and jokes and comedy and social media, and it's really hard to write that organically without it sounding like some AI got fed a bunch of social media posts.
And the main thing that stood out to me is just straight away just punches you in the face. As you said, originality is what, because let's be honest with ourselves, we've watched all these Disney Plus shows. There's a bit of fatigue coming into the MCU, quite a lot, I would say.
Yeah, it's a lot of samey same happening a lot of the time.
But the thing about it is, like, we watched Moon Knight, and you can like Moon Knight, but you can also like Miss Marvel for completely different reasons.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can say, oh, that's pretty cool in Moon Knight that he's so violent, but this is good in like a different way. Like, it's a show that you're just like, this is fun. I like watching this.
Yeah, it's outside of the MCU. It's an actual really enjoyable coming of age superhero story, it seems.
Yeah, and it really, because I'll be honest with you, I know nothing about Miss Marvel, okay? So yeah. I know the Heroes Year that you did, and that's literally it, and I haven't looked at anything in regards to this show before it came out. So I'm not saying I went there with low expectations. I think I just went there with no expectations. I was just like, okay, well, we'll just watch it. We'll see what it's like.
We'll see where this goes, yeah. And
where it goes.
That might work in its favour a little bit, because like I know a bit more than the average person about Ms. Marvel, right? But I don't know the character inside and out. I don't know everything about her. But whereas with a character like Moon Knight, I know a lot about Moon Knight, and so that absolutely skewed my opinion of what the show was doing week on week. But with Ms. Marvel, I can kind of see like, oh, that's referencing that one thing that I know about, but I don't know where it's going to go from here. Like, it's an actual, like, nice to see a plot unfold. And
like, I only realised, like, 20 minutes into episode 1 that I had, like, I think I had been smiling for about 16 minutes of it, and then at least 4 times I went, oh, that's a fucking good shot. Yeah. Oh, that's really creative.
Very creatively done. Very colourful, this whole series.
It has a soul, as you said. It's really weird.
It's colourful and fun, and like, it's creative. It's everything that like Falcon and Winter Soldier is not.
Compared to Falcon and Winter Soldier, because we were watching that going, it's grand,
it's fine.
Like, but there's a difference between Falcon and Winter Soldier can be like, it can be grand, but like, it has no soul. It's just written. Just the script is written by a computer, and it's just everything's a bit grey. And it's just fine. Yeah,
but I genuinely believe that Iman Vellani, the lady who plays Kamala Khan,
yes,
I believe she is having the best fucking time, because she's a huge MCU nerd as well.
Yes, like, and what I would also say is, I think that this show needs to give her a standing ovation at the end. She is carrying this shit on her back.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Knocking it out in a ballpark every scene.
She's just likeable. Like, she's just a really nice person.
Like, really, really funny. Like, really good comedy chops and facial reactions. But more so, like, you actually, like, you want to see her succeed, because she's a nerd and she's goofy, but like, she thinks she's cooler than she is, and like, we all know.
There's a bit in episode 2, and she's like laying on the coolness really, really thick, and it's hilarious.
But I just, like, watching it, I was just so impressed by her. I was so impressed. Like, Matt Linz plays the friend, that's Bruno.
Yeah.
And their dynamic, I'm worried it might get a bit cliche in terms of secret love, unrequited, all that stuff. But I really just enjoyed that they were just kind of like, he's just, like, her guy in the chair.
He's a little tech genius, and but they're both on the same wavelength in that they both know everything there is to know, basically, from a public perspective about superheroes. And when she gets powers and they're like testing it out and learning what she can do, I like that kind of stuff.
The bit where, don't let me drop, you've got to let me go, and she just like falls a foot.
She's 4.5 feet off the ground, like.
The minute the show first, we got to get into, like, I suppose, episode 1, episode 2, but as a general overview, I'm going to say pretty good if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, really strong start. Don't listen to people who are saying like, oh, it's the lowest watched MC. Like, even if it's the lowest watched show, there's still probably a bajillion people watching it and enjoying it. Yeah. And also, it's really it's just really well, you can tell people were happy to make this. You know?
Oh, yeah. Like I just feel like, and I could not get around just the direction, the writing. I think they're the two strongest bits. And Iman Vellani as the lead. Like, the three of them together, they just, like, sing. And everyone in the cast is working so well that it's something that I don't think I have any flaws for episode 1. I think it's just as a pilot. I'm like, you're introducing everyone straight in. Pilots are hard. Pilots are shit.
Very,
normally.
very hard. Especially when you have so much to, like, catch people up on.
Yeah, and the fact that they did all that and they introduced everyone, and I was still like, yeah, I want to watch more. I finished episode 1, I was like, I like all these people. Let's see what happens.
Like, I hesitate to say it because we're only 2 episodes in, right? But this first 2 episodes has made me more excited for the Marvels than I've ever been. Because I want to see more of Kamala Khan just fucking around.
And even at the start of episode 1, you have that Unreal animation opening with everything going on, and they introduced the Scott Lang podcast, which is great because, of course, Scott Lang has a podcast.
There is a load of Ant-Man references in this show, by the way. Like, she's just a really big Ant-Man fan. I wouldn't be surprised if Paul Rudd shows up at one point.
See, I think the other line is that, like, she's like, oh, I'm amazing, and I also look a lot younger than I actually am, just like Ant-Man.
Just like, because that's Paul Rudd. That's how Paul Rudd looks every day of his life.
And so the opening episode is all just about, obviously, introduction to all these characters, but it's like her driving test is the first big thing, and then you have Avengers Con. So there are 2 big things that she's trying to get to in episode 1. First one, driving test, perfect start. It introduces all the family. She's nervous. She's going through all that. We've all been there. And then she immediately reverses into the guy's car behind her.
It's so good. But also that family dynamic that they've got going, that's really, really well done because it's super complicated. Like, because she wants her own things. Her parents want the best for her, but they're also, like, set in their ways and they want to protect her. Like, there's the bit where they decide to let her go to AvengerCon, but it's on the condition that her dad goes with her and they both dress up as the Hulk.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and she flips out and she's like, no, I don't want this. And you feel bad for the parents. Because
the dad especially.
Yeah, because he tried and he was willing to do it. But you totally see where she's like, no, I want to do this myself.
But by the way, the line that really made me crack up, because this is literally the first, I would say, 3 minutes, and I was like, oh, this show is funny.
Yeah.
When it was like, her mother's giving out to the driving instructor, so like, she literally got into the car, put it into reverse, and driven straight back into his car, and he's just like, now I have no way home. And the mother and the father are there, and they're complaining like, oh, it was rigged, you set her up to fail. And I think the mother's line is, you set her up to fail, having her drive in the street with all the other cars. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's a great response.
And he just gives her a look like, I'm getting the bus home.
She's like, I'm not fighting you on this, but you're wrong.
And so then, that's our first introduction of, like, she, obviously a teenager, you have the thing of, like, she doesn't like her parent. Not that she doesn't like them, but, like, it's the whole parent-teenage dynamic. She's like, you understand me. And then you send her to school, you have the usual thing of, you got 3 friends. She has to have 2 sidekicks, obviously.
Yeah.
And it goes.
With the school as well. I like that it's not, and I say this every time there's a half decent school scene, but it's not like Joe Manganiello beating up Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 1.
No. It's
not comical cartoon bullying. People are just a little bit shit to certain people.
Yeah, and even Zoe Zimmer, who's the popular girl, she's the most popular girl at the school and has the social media influencer. But even she's not that bad. Like, in a worse show, she bullies them. In a worse show,
she's Regina George in Mean Girls.
Yeah, she's really mean. Whereas in this one, she's not actually. She's just a bit annoying, and she's popular.
She's a bit of a dick, and you wouldn't want to hang out with her.
But she's not outright mean.
No.
She's not like just going to say mean things to you or like say backhanded compliments. She's just going to like, she just kind of avoids you. She doesn't have she's just kind of living her own life.
Yeah. It's not like, it's still a shit, don't treat people like that. But like, it's not, oh, I'm going to put your head in a toilet kind of, it's not that kind of bullying.
One of my favourite scenes from the school, and I had so many highlights from episode 1, Mr. Wilson is one of my favourites.
Oh my God, he's fucking brilliant.
That man deserves his own show. He's just like the best teacher, as in like he's just like, look, what, you're in the clouds. I don't know what you're doing. And then she started looking into this like, what the fuck? Look at me.
I just said this.
So yeah, like the introduction of Mr. Wilson and his chat with her, I laughed like 4 or 5 times during that chat. Like, he's a ridiculous character, and just her reactions, like her comedic facial reactions to what he's doing, it's just like, this guy's a lunatic. What the fuck? Or even on the Tanai system, he's like, Kamala Khan, come to the office, you're in big trouble. Only joking, I want to talk to you. Anyway, come on now, I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah, he just seems like a person. Like, that's a developed 3-dimensional character that we see for like a total of 2 minutes in the entire first 2 episodes. They're another really small thing that I feel like we're going scene to scene, but I just think episode 1 is so good. It's really good.
I like talking about things that are good, Shaun. It's nice. We never
Wouldn't
get to
be
do
like
this.
us, not on this show.
Sometimes we have to go, yeah, but that's not great. But the bit in... I think a lot of the stuff here, the phrase I kept thinking of was, they didn't need to go that hard. They didn't need to do that, was what I kept thinking, but like, fair fucks for doing it. The bit when they're talking about her Miss Marvel costume for Avengers Con, and her and Bruno are kind of cycling home, and they're going through like all the different, I could have Wanda Maximoff, Captain Marvel, I could do this, and you see all the animation on the buildings as they're going, of like all the different versions that she could do.
I love what they're doing with that, and when I saw that, I was like, this is like Spider-Verse level of like environmental creativity, of just like making every frame of that cycling home shot just interesting to look at.
Yeah, because that's just a really boring conversation of like, how are we going to make the suit? Well, we're just going to do this. I could do this. I could do this. But it's just, as you said, that's actually a really... Into the Spider-Verse is what it reminds you. It's just like every second of frame, there's something happening somewhere.
Yeah, there's no wasted pixel on that screen at any point.
And that kind of gets across to us as a viewer. Like, they didn't phone this in. This wasn't just done for the sake of it.
But it was planned like that from the start. It had to be, because you have to shoot those VFX shots in a very particular way. So just there was so much forethought put into this whole series. And
so a lot of this is the family dynamic, her and her brother. And I just feel like whenever that family's on screen, it's just really, really good. Now, obviously, like it's a completely different environment that we're used to seeing, and I think that's amazing. But I just feel like it's great that you just have them all just shitting on each other, just taking the piss out of each other, and then like you should show that. Like, these scenes would be cut out of a show because they're like, get to the action. But these are more important. Let's see what the interaction and the relationship is with people.
Yeah, and it's also not like Hawkeye's family, where it's just quip. It's like surface level quip after surface level quip. It's like actual like funny shit that cuts to the core that a family would say to each other, but at the back of it all, they do all love each other, and you get that in the conversation. And you get the bit where she introduces Avenger Con to the parents. She's like, I need a lift. Or the bit when she introduces the lift idea to the Bruno, and she's like, has the big whiteboard, and she's like, we're going to do this, and this, and by this time, and he's like, so you're just going to ask your mother for a lift? She's like, I did all of this, and that's the question you have? Yes. And isn't there a bit, and he's like, so your new plan is to take the bus?
She's like, you weren't listening. Okay, it's really more in depth than that. But yeah, she introduces the idea of going to Avengers Con. Her mother's like, no, you're not going to a party. For some reason, Avengers Con is on at night time, which is a bit strange. But
it's not your general like Comic Con vibe. But
yeah, until like 9 o'clock, very strange. But then her brother's like, that's a rough sell. Why did you pitch it like that? And even afterwards, when she goes off like angry, he comes together and he's like, that was never going to work. You were never going to try and convince him of that, but good luck trying. Yeah,
and he's like, you get, because he we find out in episode 2 he had like a whole like goth emo phase that he went through. So he presumably went through all of this and knows how to play his parents when needs be. But Kamala just hasn't learned that yet.
Yeah. And so then eventually you have another really cool animated thing, like Into the Spider-Verse, is the texts. They do that as well, where the text messages that her and Bruno are sending are seen in different things, like neon signs or on the pavement.
Road markings and things like that.
Yeah.
It's like Sherlock crossed with Zombieland kind of texting, which is very, very cool.
It's just so that it's something so small that if it wasn't there, you would just never think about it. But once it pops up, I was like, oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, and how many like shows or scenes in Marvel have we just seen a close-up of, it's not an iPhone, but it's just like the worst JPEG of a text message you've ever seen pop up.
And then they got into their Audis and they all drive away.
Hell yeah, they're spotlessly clean, brand new off the line Audis.
Brand new Audis. They gave us so many Audis. We crashed them all.
Marvel Universe is in 2025 at the minute, but that Audi, that's from 2021. So,
so yeah, they have the Hulk outfits then comes after. Then you had the whole sneak out scene. Her and Bruno sneak out.
Great. The plan goes to shit immediately.
They miss all the buses. Then they have to get there. She eventually gets there. She has a bracelet, and she comes across this old bracelet that was in her family heirlooms.
Yeah,
and she just kind of finds it, and her mother's like, "I just throw it away." And to me, I'm like, I'm not going to be a big fan if it's just a bracelet. Like the bracelet is what the power comes from.
Yeah, I have a theory about this, right?
Go for it.
So in the Ms. Marvel origin in the comics,
Inhumans, isn't it?
She's an Inhuman. She has latent Inhuman genes in her. She was exposed to the Terrigen Mist, which is what creates Inhumans, and that's how she gets her Ms. Marvel powers. Now, I think they might be doing something similar, but with cosmic energy. That some people, when exposed to cosmic energy, have this like recessive gene, this family thing that's passed down, and it can activate powers because she wears the bangle and she thinks that's what gives her powers. There's a scene later on where Bruno's like, no, the power's coming from inside of you and it's going through the bangle. And then in episode 2, there's like literally like cosmic energy is like displaying itself in her body without her activating it or using the bangle. So I think that like the bangle might just be more like a key to activate it kind of thing. Yeah, which would it'd be referencing the Inhuman stuff in that like, this was always in you just needed this specific thing to activate it.
Is it weird to say that it might be related to Shang-Chi?
It could be like
they have rings.
They do have rings. They have 10 of them in fact, which those rings might be eternal tech, which could tie into Ms. Marvel being connected to the Eternals, because we do get like a Kingo mention as well.
Kingo gets a mention, which is pretty funny, because I was like, then when I heard my grandmother fancies Kingo Senior, I just remember like it's just all Kingo.
It's just Kumail Nanjiani, just for millennia, just being a celebrity.
And also it made me think of the Eternals and I got sad.
It's not that bad.
He stabs a little girl.
Barry.
No, a little girl. Barry. So then they go off to Avengers Con. She puts on the bracelet. She's part of the Miss Marvel costume competition. That's all it is. Like she just wants to be in the costume competition. She sticks it on and suddenly she has powers and she can't control them. And then of course all hell breaks loose and she has to save people because she starts just being unable to control what she's able to do. Yeah,
she like it's a terrible like Rube Goldberg machine of problems, because she throws out like hard light and then that knocks over a ball which runs into a big hammer that swings and is going to hit the popular girl from school.
Zoe Zimmer, who's there in the competition.
Yeah.
And I was like, she's not going to get hit by the fucking Mjolnir. And she gets fucking smashed.
Fully thought, like, oh, that lady should be dead, by the way.
Straight up
like,
dead.
fully murdered.
And then eventually, like, so after she saves her and she gets back to her room, she sneaks back in. And that's how the episode ends. She sneaks in and her mother is there. And she's like, you snuck out. Like, who the fuck are you? What are you doing? And her mother's disappointed in her.
Very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. Like, and hurt as well for being lied to. But then Kamala's just like, I've got superpowers. It's fine.
Well, that's how episode 2 begins, when you've given... What age is she? 15? Maybe?
15, 16, I think
16, maybe. So maybe she's 16 in this, but then she, like, you've given her superpowers, so she walks into school the next day and thinks she is the fucking shit.
She's the most confident motherfucker. There's, like, Robert Downey Jr. levels of confidence walking into that
just,
school.
Like, avoiding dodgeballs and just, like, talking back to people that she would never be, like, confident enough to say anything to.
Yeah.
And she just, like, thinks there's cameras there when there's not. She's, like, walking along, thinks she's just, like, when you're 16 and you think you're cool.
Yeah. Also, just at the end credits of episode 1, it's the Department of Damage Control see the video of Kamala at AvengerCon. And it's the dude from No Way Home who interrogates everyone.
The guy who interrogated Ned.
Yeah, which is great. I love that he's back. That dude also plays a lawyer in Inventing Anna, which is like a Netflix show. Yeah, it's the same guy.
He's good on him.
Good on him getting around.
But yeah, I love the idea that he just hates teenage superheroes. Like, he'll never go after Captain America. He just fucking hates teenagers who are superheroes.
I think it's just new ones popping up. At this point, he's just like, I'm going to fucking nip this in the bud right now. Because I'm
his
not
interrogation skills are always just like, he's like, I'm your best friend.
He's good cop and bad cop.
I'm your best friend. It wasn't like that with Ned. He was like, you must have known so much.
Yeah.
No, he was like, oh, you didn't know anything. I bet you weren't even involved. Like, what, you know, guy in the chair, he didn't know anything. He's like, I did know stuff. I knew loads of stuff.
Oh, so you were his main conspirator then?
Oh
shit. He's good.
So, yeah, she walks into school, and then you also have, I have here, you're one with the following, which basically means Zoe Zimmer, she's in school basically being like, it was so scary. I was on Instagram and I got like so many millions of followers because...
Yeah, she's popping off from this.
Yeah, I was like, I made a real life superhero. And she actually left me alone because she knew I had it. That's what she did.
Yeah, and she's like, she's setting her own narrative, Connor. And Kamala not happy about this.
No, so her and Bruno go off to try and figure out what power she has because she's obsessed with having super strength. She's like, I don't have super strength.
Yeah.
She doesn't have super speed, and she's kind of. It reminded me of Misfits when he's like trying to figure out, is it Nathan? And he's trying to figure
Robert
out
Sheen's character.
And he's trying to figure out what powers he has, and he's just kind of going through them. He sticks his head in a bucket of water. He's like, no, can't breathe underwater.
Yeah.
And he like drowns himself to death. It's like one of those where it's like, I know I have powers, but I don't know which ones.
Don't know which ones specifically. I'm not going to spoil it either, but it's a great reveal of what power he actually does have.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. But they also say, she says flat out, oh, and I can't make myself small, which is something that Kamala can do in the comics. She can change she controls her own molecules basically. So
do you think that she will be able to do that eventually though?
I think it'd be cool. It would tie into all the Ant-Man, Ant-Man references that we have. I think probably if not in this, I'd say definitely in the Marvels she'll be able to change her size.
Something that I really liked, that whole scene, by the way, of like him catching her and she's like, you've got to let me go.
Yeah.
And then she just drops like an inch. That was always quite funny. I really love the fact that they go and pray, and it's just like a really small scene between her and her friend.
Nakia,
Yeah, and just like, that scene, once again, it would have been cut in a different show. But it's like, it's such a small scene, them just having a chat, them just going through it, and her friend is like, I'm running I'm running I'm going to win. I'm going to become the leader.
I'm going to be on like the council.
What's the exact position?
I think it's like head of the council for like the local mosque kind of a thing.
Yeah, and so she's like, I'm running for it, and a female has never had it, and I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, and she's ruthless in it as well, by the way.
That scene is amazing later on. But really small, just them taking off their shoes, them going through all the... And I think like scenes like that are so small, but really important, just to show
Absolutely.
this.
And even like the scene when they're in and they're praying and like they're like, oh, like the women's section is like falling apart. And like there's mold in the carpets, but like it's something that like I wouldn't know that in my day-to-day life. But it's nice to see that reflected, and also it was on TikTok, and there was people talking about it. Apparently, shoes getting taken is like quite a common problem.
I seen a load of tweets that were like, "Classic move: never bring your nice shoes to the mosque." Never.
That's just so fun that's in there,
and it's once again as two dudes who just are dumb. Like, we're just two idiot white guys, so we wouldn't know any of this stuff. Like, and we grew up in very Catholic Ireland. So, like,
very Catholic.
Think of Ireland, Catholic. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. So, like, it's really just nice to see just scenes like this where it doesn't have to be grave stakes.
Absolutely not. And like it, but also like, and this show got review bombed because of like depictions like that. That people
How
are
many
just like,
scenes of any show have you ever watched where they're in a church?
so many. So look at all of Daredevil, like, and but like it's getting bombarded for like the the Islam representation, for the female representation. People are just like, this isn't a white man who aligns with my views. I dislike this, and I must tell everyone.
A very big plot point in Home Alone is a church.
Very big plot point. Very big plot point in Man of Steel is
like everything. But it's one of those where it's just make it normal. Just like, it's just moving the plot. It's just a different location. Who cares?
Yeah, you can relate to characters without being absolutely identical to them. Like, but everyone was 16 and felt awkward and, wanted to fit in.
But then also, when you're 16, you have days where you think you're incredibly cool. And you're like, you have one day, like a month, where you're like, I am so cool right now. But if you look back on it, like, now you're like, oh no, bud.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's me anytime I wear fingerless gloves, I will say. I think I'm the coolest motherfucker around.
I just really enjoyed it, just as scenes in general. But then they go off to a party, which is like an underage party, and there's alcohol there, Shaun.
Yeah, that's ripped from the comics. That party is where she first gets her powers, and the orange juice that she's promised is laced with vodka, which it's an absolutely fucked thing to do to someone. Yes. But it's referencing back to the original Ms. Marvel origin in this show, which is going about it a completely different way. And
that's where she meets Cameron, who is the love interest. Yeah, he's the boy they all want, but he's not Bruno. He's not Bruno, Shaun.
Well, Connor, we don't talk about Bruno.
I knew you were going to say it the minute I said it.
You set him up, I knock him down.
But yeah, so Bruno's not too happy. This new heartthrob's on the scene, Shaun. He's not a fan. All that stuff, I'm like, okay, give or take it. But
it's teenage romance.
Teenage romance. Look, we've all seen every show that ever has that. It's all the time.
I do like when Bruno was like, oh, you've got this scholarship to go to Caltech for and it's fully paid for. You won't have to buy food.
With Mr. Wilson.
With Mr. Wilson. And then Bruno's just like, I'm going to think about it. And Mr. Wilson's like, Bruno, have you ever seen any movie? And someone's like, oh, your life is going to change. This is that moment. Take it.
Because Bruno's like, oh, it's going to cost a lot of... No, it's all free. And he's just at the end of his rope. He's like, Bruno, come on, think about this, you fucking idiot.
This is the best thing that could ever happen to you.
So they all go into Cameron's car. Mm-hmm. And he drives them all home. He not accidentally calls Bruno the wrong name.
Purposely. He does. He calls him Brian.
He calls him Brian. They start talking about Bollywood movies and all that stuff. And apparently they go in. there's actually a really nice scene the next day. So that's when the powers start coming out on her skin.
Yeah.
And it's her and her friend again. They go to the bathroom.
Yes, yeah.
Is it Nakia?
Nakia,
her and well, she basically, her skin is lighting up, and she's like terrified. It's the bit in all superhero where it's like, I can't control my powers, better run away. So she runs to the bathroom to like hide, and Nakia comes in because she's like, there's something wrong with her. Like,
she's been off the last few days. Like,
yeah, she's like trying to figure it out. She's trying to help, and obviously Kamala doesn't want to tell her. So she's just like, oh, just just feeling a bit weird. That's other than that. And her like, she's trying to wait till her skin stops glowing.
Yeah, because she's glowing from the nose and the hand, and then Naki is like, oh, do you need like a tampon, or I know your mam's weird about them, but I have pads either. Like, it's just an actual fucking conversation between two friends,
and that conversation's had millions of times in all schools everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, but Connor, how can I relate to that, though?
That's true. That is true.
0 out of 10.
Let's figure that out again. But I was just thinking about Mr. Wilson. I was like, I wonder what Mr. Wilson's up to.
I wonder what he's doing in his life. They did a one-shot about Mr. Wilson.
I would follow that man. I want to see what idiocy he does on a day-to-day basis.
But he seems quite competent at his job as well.
I think you're expelled. Am I joking with you? I'm not being serious.
But like, and they have a conversation about how like they're trying to fit in, but Naki is just like, no, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make things better for everyone. Yeah,
she's going to get onto the council, and she's going to make things better for everyone, especially women, because obviously they're part of the mosque, not looking great at the minute. So makes sense. And so then they go to the Eid, isn't it? And
Eid Mubarak, yeah.
Yeah, so then they go to and there's basically just a big gathering, like everyone's there, and this is Nakia's chance. Nakia's decided, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to get votes. We have flyers.
Yeah, we have flyers, and we're going to just canvass the town. And again, and I like how they're introducing all the little groups. Illuminantes might be the best thing anyone's ever said in a Marvel show.
And we all know an Illuminati.
Yeah. Sorry, just during this, there's a bunch of secrecy around Kamala's great-grandmother, who the bangle originally belonged to. Kamala sees a vision of her and passes out. She rings her grandmother to ask questions, but she gets nowhere. That's just important for the story.
I think her mother. I think the grandmother reveals a little bit.
She reveals
her name. Yeah. But then she's like, "Oh, I've said too much." Also, the bit, as I said, completely realistic. The grandmother has it up to her ear on the video call, and she's like, "You're going to need to put it further out. I can't see you." And the grandmother's like talking above the phone, can't see the camera whatsoever. We've all been there. But yeah, it's revealed that like the bracelet is centuries old, or years and years old anyway, that it's been passed down to generation.
Yeah, and this great grandmother disappeared during partition times. So no one knows what happened to her.
My favourite scene in all of episode 2 is Nakia with
Kamala's father.
Dad. Her dad, which is Yusuf, and it's so funny because Yusuf's like, Nakia's like, are you going to vote for me? And he's like, well, my best friend is running, so I'm obviously going to vote for him.
Yeah.
And then Nakia starts this speech about like, you wouldn't...
I'm Kamala's best friend.
Yeah. I'm like your daughter. You wouldn't want me to not have a future, would you?
We're trying to make things better for all women. You do want your daughter to have a good life, don't you?
Do you hate women? Yusuf? And he looks like he's been shot.
He's just trapped. It's amazing.
She's absolutely mind-fucked him through his own logic, and he's just like, and he just kind of takes the flyer. He's like, yeah, okay. And Nakia's like, I think Nakia says that that's her white whale. If she could get him to vote for her, she could get everyone to vote for her.
Yeah, he would have been the hardest to turn, basically.
Yeah.
And she just fucking did it in 10 seconds.
But while they're there, shot, how does the episode end? Someone gets in trouble.
Little boy on a clock tower taking selfies.
Funny story, if you look at his shoes, it's Nakia's shoes from earlier on.
No!
he's the thief.
Shit, man, that's great.
It's such a small thing, but if you look at it, they're the same shoes, or I think they are anyway, as far as I could see.
That's really good. That's genius.
If that turns out to be nothing, I just made that up, but it looks the same. They look the exact same to me.
That's fair. They could have just bought the same shoes.
Maybe. I don't think that happens. Nobody's ever owned the same pair of shoes, right?
No, I've got... all my shoes are limited edition. I make them myself.
They're like slippers. When it rains, it's so heavy.
It's awful. It's so awful.
But yeah, the kid... we'd have the classic thing, kid falls, he's hanging on for dear life, they need a hero.
Curtain rings snapping by the second, just slowly getting lower,
and it's getting lower. We need a hero. And of course Kamala's like, well, I'm the gal for this. I'm Miss Marvel. And so she powers up the bracelet and her powers and tries to figure out how to control her own powers while trying to save this kid.
Yeah, and she's so nervously, because she can walk on the hard light constructs, so she's like nervously stepping over and getting to the kid. And what follows is like one of the best first superhero outings I've ever seen, because she does it. She catches him, makes him safe, then just leaves him on a platform over the road for a solid minute. Because
she starts, as all 16-year-olds would, imagining herself being the biggest hero ever.
Yeah, she does a little superhero landing for herself, and she's like, oh, and it's going to be so great. And then it all goes to shit. He falls. She ends up making like a pinball machine amount of platforms for him to bounce off, and he crushes his ankle on a car.
And he's like, oh, my ankle. And he's had to fall at like 20 feet, but she's like saved him slightly. And
yeah, he's not dead.
I was like, you would still be happy that she was there. Like, she did technically save his life.
Yeah, but like, had she just walked him to the roof 5 seconds earlier, it would have been grand.
But she was imagining herself being the biggest hero in the world. And like, wow, I just made my first save. And then she just loses concentration because she's imagining herself being amazing.
Well, she sees a vision of her great-grandmother as well.
Yeah.
Which, scares her a little bit. And then, from there then, she's kind of on the run because damage
the police
control
show up.
Yeah, damage control catches up with her, have her like cornered in an alley with drones that look very like Stark drones as well.
They do, and so because they got it out with Zoe Zimmer. There's a really they don't come across very well on it. But they're like someone had the picture of Peter Griffin. Which, the colour palette.
Oh,
This is what they were like to Zoe Zimmer, good or bad.
It's not fun. It isn't fun to watch.
A lot of people were complaining about that, but I was like, isn't that the point of the scene? Or maybe I'm dumb.
I thought it was like
they're bad.
I thought that was like the issue. Like, I don't know. They want only certain people can be superpowered. But this is where Kamala she has more of a grasp on her powers, and she sprints over all the cops with the little hard light steps.
She's slowly getting more confident.
Yeah, it's like Frozone nearly as well, where you always have a surface to stand on, kind of thing.
CGI isn't actually bad either.
No, I like what you're doing with it, and the way it glows as well and interacts with the world is quite cool. I
actually think the CGI in this is better than the CGI in Moon Knight, but I think Moon Knight had more to animate.
I think, and Moon Knight was that's a fully CG character as well.
Yeah.
For the most part.
But eventually, how it ends up is she's on her last legs. She's got nowhere to go, and then Cameron shows up, pulls up with his mom in the back. And he's like, get in.
Yeah.
And she gets in, they drive off. And his mother's like, I've been meaning to talk to you.
Yeah, and that's her great-grandmother.
Yes. So you have...
Big twist.
Big twist. And so that's the big twist, and that's how the episode ends. But first episode 1 and 2, very strong, I thought. Yeah.
No, really, really solid, and makes me excited to see more. And I wonder, will this be the series to avoid having the episode 4 most boring episode of the series?
Oh, I hope so. I really do. Because they've started really strong.
Yeah, and like I feel like we're going to get most of the explanation stuff in episode 3. And then we'll have the proper goal. Because at the minute, we still don't really know what the end game of this series is.
I suppose it's kind of to establish her in the role. So later on, when she kind of meets up with the other two, that she kind of knows what she's doing.
Yeah, with Captain Marvel and Photon, she's not just like dead weight.
Yeah. But also you don't want to make her too clever or too powerful in this, because then what's the point? When she meets up with them, she's like, yeah, I got this. It's okay.
Yeah, like I think a lot of the Marvels is going to be about hero worship. Because that's because Photon does not like Captain Marvel at this point.
The Rambos, she's some big on her.
Not hanging around with her these days. So I think it's going to be a lot of like, no, listen, she's not as good a person as you think she is, kind of a thing. I feel like that could go on, but I feel like this is about Kamala becoming Kamala, like becoming herself and like finding her feet in the world, I suppose.
And I just to be honest, I think episode 2 might have been the one that they were trying to establish a lot, and I think that fell into a little bit of cliche with the love interest and all that stuff. So I mean, if episode 2 was the weakest, and I was still like, this is pretty good.
Yeah,
I'd be very happy with that. If it then kicked up a gear now, episode 3 of 4, that they introduced the lore, they introduced where they're going. You got to get to a big bad somewhere. Still not quite sure who the big bad is that she's going to have to defeat.
No, might just be damage control this time. Like just the government.
It might actually be damage control. That like eventually or what'll probably happen is damage control are against her. A big bad shows up, and damage control can't stop them. And then at the end of it, like Cleary, I think is the guy's name. He's like, "Oh, we trust you now. You saved us."
I think Cleary is going to be saved by Kamala Khan in this series.
Yeah.
Like, and that'll be his.
He doesn't deserve it though. Let him die.
Let him die, says I. Nah, he's a good actor. He's fine.
Yeah, we liked him in Aventurada.
He was pretty good. He was a likeable man. But I'm really excited. I do think episode 1 is the best pilot we've gotten so far.
I would recommend anyone who, I mean, if you've listened this far, hopefully you've seen it. But if you haven't seen it and you've listened to all this, go watch episode 1. Just 1. You don't even have to watch number 2.
Just see, dip your toe in it, see what it feels like. There is a thread set up on the Detective Divilment's discussion group at the minute, if people do want to have a little discussion with other listeners about what they thought of the show, and also welcoming any perspectives to it as well, because as we said, maybe you hated it, and like I would love to know why, like not in a judgy way or anything like that. Genuinely, I would be curious.
Because there's plenty of things that we like that people don't like, or vice versa. So
yeah, The Incredible Hulk, National Treasure, all of these things are great.
Film.
Connor, please, I'm speaking for both of us.
Please, this is a group idea.
It's the royal we.
But yeah, if you have not seen Miss Marvel, you've listened this far, go watch episode 1. And I don't think you'll be like, I think it's pretty good. And if you don't like, you'll have a smile at least 1 or 2 times throughout the episode. Yeah.
And I think if you like the MCU, you'll probably definitely like Ms. Marvel, I would say. If you're brand new to the MCU, fair play for listening for 50 odd minutes to this episode. But it might not be a bad jumping in point, quite honestly, because they do summarise a lot.
If for somebody that like doesn't know anything, it's actually kind of cool because she knows so much that you can kind of jump in and go, oh, superheroes are a big deal. Like, she's a fangirl.
Yeah, exactly. People. So, no, give it a go. Let us know what you think. And as we said, our future reviews for this will be going up on the Patreon. So
that exclusive content for all the patrons.
The exclusive juicy recordings. And they are juicy.
And we also have, by the way, over on our Patreon right now, we have our reviews of every Disney Plus series that they've done, I think.
Yeah, I think we skipped Hawkeye because
Hawkeye. Yeah, it should be grand. But it'd be alright. But yeah, we also have loads of movie reviews over there, TV reviews, a whole bunch of extra stuff, Shaun. But do you want to take us out?
Yeah, why not? Thank you everyone for listening to this episode of Movie Mondays. We'll be back on Wednesday with Weird News Wednesday, Friday with Hero or Zero, and next Monday with another episode of Movie Mondays. Big thank you goes out to all of the patrons over on Patreon. They're the ones who get to enjoy all of that content we put up there. They also get shout outs at the end of the episodes, so big shout outs and thanks go to Waffles, the magic undisputed king of Aotearoa New Zealand, Ciara Lawler, David Clarke, the fabulous Frogman, Joe Burney, Róisín the wife Palmer, Ryan technically fine Evanson, Shaun Chuck it in the wash and it'll be grand Jamieson, Dominic, Jessiah Florida Gal Green, Anna Hjelmroos, Lil Dicky, Come Stay Where the Dog Men Play, McGrew, it's terrifying, Danny McLaughlin, Ray, I Can't Believe Wanda Did This, Sam, Michelle Browne, Michaela Doughty, Sackman41 and Frost. Thank you all for the continued support. You're all absolutely amazing humans. And as we said, link to that in the description if you want to join those fine people. What's also in the description is literally a link to everything we ever do. So you have the website, here'sforhire.ie. There's also the merch store there.
We're not saying a lot of it's good, by the way. Just,
No.
Everything we've ever done.
Everything we've ever done.
Even all the bad videos are up there.
Oh, look forward to those.
Yeah.
Now, there is quite a good merch shop, I will say, here'sforhire.ie/shop. Yeah, you can get all your t-shirts and hats to keep the sun off of those beautiful, beautiful eyes of yours, listeners. Twitter, @HeroesForHirePod. The 4 is the number 4. Facebook is Detective Diddleman's discussion group. Instagram is Heroes for Hire Podcast. TikTok is Heroes for Hire Podcast. And the best way to ever help out the show is to tell one human being that we exist.
Just the one, please.
And I think that's about it, Connor.
I think so. So I've been Conor Lawler.
I have been Shaun Chuck.
I shall see you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.